Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today, we're looking at the top 40 best single-player games you can play on Nintendo Switch in 2025. These are games where you can just sit back, play at your own pace, and get completely lost in amazing experiences. Let's jump right in. Absolum stands out as one of the strongest single-player experiences on the Nintendo Switch in 2025, blending fast-paced combat with deep progression and a surprisingly rich world. Set in a realm fractured by a magical calamity, the story follows a band of warriors rising against a tyrannical force that has reshaped their land. Each character you control feels distinct, with their own combat rhythm, weapon style, and special abilities that reward precision and timing. The gameplay fuses the intensity of a side-scrolling brawler with the replayability of a roguelite. Every run presents new routes, enemies, and upgrades, keeping the action fresh. Combos, dodges, and parries are sharp and deliberate, emphasizing skill rather than button mashing. Between battles, you return to a central hub to upgrade abilities, unlock new relics, and refine your strategy for the next attempt. Its hand-drawn art, fluid animation, and atmospheric soundtrack pull you into its world effortlessly. Absolum doesn't reinvent the genre, but it masters it, offering a challenging, rewarding journey that feels built for players who love learning a game's systems inside out. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound delivers a fierce and precise single-player experience that embodies everything fans expect from the series, while refining it for the modern era. The story centers on a lone ninja, facing a world corrupted by demonic influence, balancing duty and vengeance as ancient powers threaten to consume everything. What makes Ragebound compelling is its focus on mastery. Every strike, dodge, and parry demands sharp reflexes and understanding of enemy patterns. The gameplay unfolds in fast, fluid sequences, where timing is everything, rewarding skillful play and punishing carelessness. Combat is layered with depth. Light and heavy attacks chain into stylish combos, while ninjutsu techniques add tactical options for both offense and defense. Between battles, exploration reveals hidden upgrades and secret trials that encourage experimentation and replay. The visuals mix cinematic flair with traditional Japanese art influences, and the music drives each encounter with intensity. Ragebound feels like a return to disciplined, high-stakes action, a game that challenges, respects, and rewards true focus. Hades 2 on Nintendo Switch continues Supergiant's legacy of combining sharp action design with narrative depth, delivering a single-player experience that's as challenging as it is rewarding. This time, you play as Melinoe, the daughter of Hades, venturing beyond the familiar underworld to confront ancient forces that threaten both gods and mortals. The story unfolds gradually through dialogue and encounters, blending mythic drama with personal growth. Combat remains the heart of the experience, fast, fluid, and endlessly customizable. Each run pushes you to refine your tactics, combining different weapons, boons, and magical sigils to discover powerful synergies. Failure doesn't reset progress, but feeds into new interactions, unlocking lore, upgrades, and emotional layers to Melinoe's journey. The art direction shines with expressive animation and intricate environments, while the soundtrack drives every battle with tension and rhythm. Hades 2 feels like a masterclass in how to evolve a beloved formula. Familiar yet bold, punishing yet deeply satisfying. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings back two legendary JRPGs that were originally on PlayStation, now updated for modern screens. The first game follows a young man caught in a war of liberation who must gather 108 Stars of Destiny, unique characters who join your cause and help build up your headquarters into a thriving base. The sequel continues years later with a new protagonist, betrayed by his closest friend, forcing him to lead his own army against a corrupt empire. Both games feature strategic army battles where you command entire units, one-on-one duels that play like rock, paper, scissors with tells to read, and traditional turn-based combat with a party of 6 characters. The recruitment system is the heart of these games. Every Star of Destiny has their own personality and backstory, and finding them all adds so much life to your growing headquarters. Your base evolves as you recruit more people, gaining new shops, minigames, and facilities. The remaster adds quality of life features like faster battle speeds, auto battle options, and the ability to switch between original and remastered graphics at any time. Trails in the Sky, First Chapter, on Nintendo Switch, is a timeless single-player RPG that stands out for its heartfelt storytelling and deliberate, strategy-driven gameplay. Set in the peaceful yet politically complex kingdom of Liberel, the game follows Estelle and Joshua, 2 young adventurers whose simple journey as bracers slowly unravels into something far larger than they ever expected. The pacing is patient, allowing the world and its people to breathe, and every town, quest, and conversation adds meaning to the overarching narrative. Combat blends classic turn-based structure with tactical positioning, encouraging players to think carefully about movement, abilities, and timing. The orbment system adds depth, letting you craft spells and enhance characters to suit your preferred playstyle. Its charm lies in how grounded the experience feels. Small moments of humor, warmth, and discovery make every step memorable. Trails in the Sky doesn't rush to impress. It earns your investment through substance, heart, and an evolving world that feels truly alive. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles is one of those single-player experiences that reminds you why tactical RPGs have such lasting appeal. Set in the politically fractured world of Ivalice, the game follows a cast of characters drawn into a struggle where ambition, loyalty, and ideals constantly collide. The story is layered and thoughtful, exploring how power and faith shape both nations and individuals. Gameplay unfolds on isometric battlefields that demand precision and patience. Every move, skill, and unit placement carries weight. The job system remains a highlight, letting you mix and match classes to create deeply personalized teams, from disciplined knights to agile assassins or spellcasters who blend multiple schools of magic. Strategy goes beyond the battlefield too. Resource management, equipment choices, and long-term character growth all feed into your success. Visually, the Ivalice Chronicles balances classic design with modern refinements, while its orchestral score sets the tone perfectly. It's a slow-burn masterpiece built for players who value strategy, consequence, and narrative depth.
On my honor. A good choice. This will suffice. Feel my wrath!
Embrace inevitable end! Judgment Blade!
The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is a full remake of the Game Boy classic, with a charming, toy-like art style that makes everything look like a miniature diorama. Link washes up on Koholint Island after a storm, and discovers he can't leave until he wakes the mysterious Windfish by collecting 8 instruments hidden in dungeons across the island. The gameplay is classic top-down Zelda, You explore the overworld, solve environmental puzzles, fight enemies, and conquer dungeons filled with clever challenges. You can only equip 2 items at a time using the shoulder buttons, which forces you to think about what tools you need for different situations. Dungeons are brilliantly designed, each with a unique theme and mechanic that gets explored in different ways as you progress through it. The game includes a dungeon maker mode, where you can create your own challenges using rooms from dungeons you've completed, adding extra value once you finish the main story. Despite being based on a Game Boy game, it never feels limited. The world is dense with secrets, side quests, and collectibles to find. Pokémon Legends Arceus completely reimagines the Pokémon formula by taking you back to the Hisui region in ancient times, long before the events of any other Pokémon game, when people feared Pokémon and the idea of training them was revolutionary. You're a member of the Galaxy Expedition team, tasked with creating the region's first Pokédex by studying Pokémon in the wild. Instead of random encounters in tall grass, you can see Pokémon roaming freely in large open zones, and catch them by sneaking up and throwing Pokéballs in real time, without starting a battle. If you're spotted, aggressive Pokémon will actually attack you directly, and you can dodge roll to avoid their moves. The battle system is revamped with a turn order system, where faster Pokémon or certain move styles can act multiple times in a row, making speed and move selection more strategic. You complete Pokédex entries by observing specific behaviors, catching multiple specimens, seeing them use certain moves, catching them at different times of day, which encourages actually engaging with Pokémon, rather than just catching one and moving on. Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist is a Metroidvania set in a hauntingly beautiful post-apocalyptic world where an artificial rain has turned most of humanity into mindless homunculi. You play as Lilac, an attuner with the power to purify these creatures and learn about their tragic pasts before they were transformed. The combat system lets you summon spirits of purified enemies to fight alongside you, and you can have multiple spirits equipped at once, each with different abilities and attack patterns. Your own moveset expands as you progress, with new abilities like air dashes, ground slams, and special attacks that consume SP. Exploration is the real focus. The interconnected world is massive, with multiple routes, hidden passages, and areas that require specific abilities to access. Boss battles are challenging but fair, often requiring you to learn patterns and use the right spirit companions to exploit weaknesses. The art direction is absolutely gorgeous, with detailed pixel art environments that range from overgrown laboratories to corrupted city streets, all brought to life with excellent lighting and particle effects. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is a complete overhaul of one of the greatest JRPGs ever made, featuring massively improved visuals, remastered music, and quality of life improvements that make it the definitive way to experience this epic. The story follows Shulk, a young engineer who gains the power to wield the Monado, a legendary sword that can cut through mechanical beings and see glimpses of the future. The entire game takes place on the bodies of 2 frozen titans, the Bionis and Mechonis, who were locked in combat long ago, creating one of gaming's most unique and ambitious settings. Combat happens in real time, but with an MMO-like cooldown system, where you auto-attack while positioning yourself and activating arts, special abilities with different effects based on your position relative to enemies. The Monado's future vision mechanic lets you see devastating enemy attacks before they happen, giving you a chance to warn allies or change equipment to prevent disaster. The world is absolutely massive, with distinct regions that feel completely different from each other, from lush forests to mechanical valleys to crystalline caves.
Thanks, Ryan. That was a close one. Man, what were you doing wandering off by yourself?
Dave the Diver is a unique mix of underwater exploration, restaurant management, and fishing that somehow works perfectly together. You play as Dave, a diver who gets roped into helping run a sushi restaurant called Bancho Sushi, while also exploring the mysterious Blue Hole, an ocean trench filled with strange creatures and ancient secrets. During the day, you dive down to catch fish, using harpoons, nets, and other tools, while managing your oxygen and avoiding dangerous sea life. The deeper you go, the weirder things get, with story missions uncovering mysteries about the Blue Hole and its supernatural properties. At night, you serve customers at the restaurant, and the fish you caught become menu items that you need to prepare quickly as orders come in. You earn money to upgrade your diving gear, unlock better weapons, and improve the restaurant with new recipes and staff. The game has tons of side activities, like fish farming, photography missions, and even some light RPG boss fights against massive sea creatures. The pixel art style is charming and detailed, especially during the restaurant segments. It's incredibly addictive because every dive feels productive, whether you're progressing the story, collecting rare fish, or just gathering ingredients. The loop of dive, catch, serve, upgrade keeps you hooked for hours, and the story has some genuinely surprising twists.
Metroid Prime Remastered brings the legendary GameCube first-person adventure to Switch with completely overhauled visuals that make it look like a modern game. You play as Samus Aran, investigating a distress signal on the planet Talon 4, which has been corrupted by a radioactive substance called Phazon. The game is an atmospheric, exploration-focused shooter where you scan environments to learn about the world's history, solve environmental puzzles, and fight hostile creatures and space pirates. Your arm cannon can be upgraded with different beam weapons that are also used to unlock doors and activate mechanisms, while your suit gains abilities like the Morph Ball, Boost Ball, and various visors that let you see different spectrums. Combat requires strategy. Different enemies are weak to specific beams, and you need to learn attack patterns for bosses. The interconnected world design means you'll constantly backtrack to previous areas, with new abilities to access previously blocked paths. The atmosphere is incredible, with minimal music that lets the ambient sounds of the environment create tension.
Trails Through Daybreak starts a new arc in the long-running Legend of Heroes series, making it a good entry point for newcomers while rewarding longtime fans. You play as Van Arkwright, a Spriggan, basically a problem solver who takes on odd jobs that exist in the gray area between legal and illegal in the Calvard Republic. The story begins with seemingly unconnected cases that slowly reveal a larger conspiracy involving crime syndicates, corrupt politicians, and dangerous new technology. The combat system lets you switch between action mode and turn-based mode at any time. Action mode plays like a beat-em-up with real-time dodging and attacking, while turn-based mode offers more strategic depth with positioning and turn order manipulation. You build a party of characters with different combat styles and abilities, and the Orbment system lets you customize their stats and spells. The game has an alignment system where your choices affect Van's reputation and how people react to him, with some quests only available based on your alignment. Cities are massive and filled with NPCs who have their own lives and stories that evolve as you progress.
You'll pay for that!
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the most challenging and well-designed 2D platformers ever made. Now on Switch with an easier mode for players who want to experience it without the brutal difficulty. The story has the Snowmads, a group of Arctic invaders freezing over Donkey Kong Island and forcing DK and his friends to travel through various themed islands to take back their home. You can play as Donkey Kong with one of 4 partners: Diddy, Dixie, Cranky, or Funky Kong in the Switch version, each offering different abilities like Diddy's jetpack hover, Dixie's helicopter spin, or Cranky's pogo cane jump. Levels are incredibly creative, with constantly changing mechanics. One moment you're riding minecarts, next you're swimming through currents, then you're in a rocket barrel avoiding obstacles. The level design is genius, with multiple paths and hidden collectibles that reward exploration and mastery. Boss fights are spectacular, with multiple phases and attack patterns to learn. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury gives you 2 distinct Mario experiences in one package, both offering excellent single-player gameplay. The main game has Bowser kidnapping fairy-like creatures called Sprixies, and Mario must travel through themed worlds to rescue them. This plays like a blend of 2D and 3D Mario, with linear levels full of secrets, each with 3 green stars and a stamp to collect. You can pick from multiple characters, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Rosalina, each with slightly different abilities. The Catsuit power-up lets you climb walls and swipe at enemies, while other power-ups, like the Double Cherry, clone you for puzzle-solving opportunities. Bowser's Fury is a completely new open-world Mario adventure, set in Lake Lapcat, where Bowser has been corrupted by black goo, and periodically goes on rampages. You collect cat shines scattered across islands, while Bowser Jr. helps you by providing a second player character, even in single player. Every few minutes, Fury Bowser emerges and attacks, forcing you to either hide or collect enough cat shines to fight back using the giant Giga Cat form. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom flips the formula by making Princess Zelda the protagonist for the first time in a mainline game. Strange rifts are appearing across Hyrule, swallowing people and places into a dark void dimension, and Link gets captured while trying to save Zelda. Armed with the Tri-Rod, Zelda gains the ability to create echoes, copies of objects and defeated enemies that she can summon to solve puzzles and fight battles. You can create beds to reach high places, summon rocks to weigh down switches, or call forth monsters to fight for you while you stay back and strategize. The game encourages creative problem solving, since most puzzles have multiple solutions depending on which echoes you've collected. Combat is entirely different from traditional Zelda. Instead of sword fighting, you're summoning creatures and objects tactically, managing your limited energy meter. You can enter a special mode that lets you control summoned monsters directly for more precise combat. The top-down perspective and art style are similar to the Link's Awakening remake, with a charming, toy-like aesthetic. Ys 8.
Lacrimosa of Dana is an action RPG where red-haired adventurer Adol Kristen gets shipwrecked on a cursed island and must find other survivors while uncovering the island's ancient mysteries. You start alone, but gradually build a castaway village as you rescue passengers and crew members, each contributing different services like shops, crafting, or expedition support. The combat is fast-paced action with 3 attack types: Slash, Strike, and Pierce, and you can instantly switch between party members mid-combo to exploit enemy weaknesses. Each character has their own skill trees and special attacks that charge up as you fight. The game introduces Flash Guard and Flash Move mechanics, where perfectly timed blocks or dodges slow down time and let you unleash devastating counterattacks. Exploration is gated by your party's abilities, and as you recruit more people with different skills, you can access new areas of the island. The story alternates between Adol's perspective and mysterious dream sequences, where you play as Dana, a girl from the island's ancient past, slowly revealing how their stories connect.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder reinvents 2D Mario with creative ideas that constantly surprise you throughout the entire game. Bowser uses a Wonder Flower to merge with Prince Florian's castle, transforming into a flying fortress, and Mario must collect royal seeds across the Flower Kingdom to grow the mystical talking tree and stop him. The Wonder Flower mechanic is the game's signature feature. Grab one in a level, and reality warps in completely unexpected ways, like pipes growing legs and stampeding across the screen, Mario turning into a spike ball, or the entire level rotating perspective. Every Wonder sequence is unique and keeps you guessing what insane thing will happen next. You can play as 12 different characters, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, multiple Toads, Yoshi, and Nabbit, with the latter two being easier options for less experienced players. The badge system lets you equip special abilities before starting a level, like a parachute that slows falls, a dolphin kick for better swimming, or the ability to wall jump. Power-ups include classics like Fire Flower, alongside new ones like Elephant that lets you smash blocks with your trunk and store water to spray.
Voila!
Octopath Traveler 2 improves on the original in every way, offering 8 separate character stories that interweave more naturally while maintaining individual identity. Set in the continent of Cilicia, during a time period inspired by the Industrial Revolution, you choose one of 8 travelers to begin with. Each has their own starting location, story motivation, and path-specific abilities used during exploration. Oswald is a scholar wrongly imprisoned seeking revenge. Casti is an amnesiac apothecary trying to recover her memories. Throne is an assassin seeking freedom from her organization, and so on. The turn-based combat uses the break system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses with specific weapon or magic types depletes their shield points, eventually breaking them and leaving them vulnerable for a turn. The boost mechanic lets you save up points to amplify your attacks, heals, or buffs for clutch moments. Each character has unique battle abilities and can unlock secondary jobs for more customization. Day and night cycles affect NPC locations and which path actions you can use. You might pickpocket someone during day, but mug them at night.
Now it begins. It's my turn.
Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition is the ultimate version of one of the best JRPGs ever made, packed with additional content exclusive to Switch. You play as the Luminary, a young man who discovers on his coming-of-age ceremony that he's the reincarnation of a legendary hero. but the king brands you as a darkspawn, responsible for past catastrophes, and forces you to flee. You travel the world gathering party members while uncovering the truth about your destiny and an ancient evil returning to threaten all life. The turn-based combat is traditional but refined, with character-specific skill trees that let you build characters in different ways, making hero a spellcaster or a sword specialist, for example. The Pep power system triggers special combination attacks when party members reach a pepped-up state after taking or dealing damage. You can ride monsters in the overworld, craft equipment at campsites, and complete side quests in towns that flesh out the world. The story has a massive twist at a certain point that completely changes the game's tone and adds dozens of additional hours.
Watch out! Go on! You can do it! Get it!
Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma blends farming simulation with action RPG combat in a Japanese-inspired setting. You play as a guardian protecting the eastern land of Azuma from a corrupting force called the Blight that's spreading across the region. During the day, you can farm crops, raise monsters as companions, craft items, and build relationships with villagers through conversations and gift-giving. Combat happens in real-time dungeons where you swing weapons, cast magic spells, and command your tamed monsters to fight alongside you. The story involves investigating the source of the Blight while helping restore corrupted areas back to their natural beauty. You can switch between different weapon types like swords, spears, and axes mid-combat, each with their own combo chains. The crafting system lets you create better weapons, armor, and farming tools using materials gathered from monsters and mining. Festivals and seasonal events keep the calendar interesting, and each villager has their own storyline to uncover. The art style uses hand-drawn characters against 3D environments, creating a storybook aesthetic.
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition brings the Wii U's ambitious sci-fi RPG to Switch, with improved visuals and new story content. Humanity fled Earth after it was destroyed in an alien war, crash landing on the planet Mira, where you join Blade, an organization exploring this mysterious world while defending the last human city. The combat system is real-time, with auto attacks while you position yourself and trigger arts, special abilities with cooldowns that deal damage, buff allies, or debuff enemies. You can customize your character's class extensively, unlocking different weapon combinations and playstyles from ranged gunner to melee fighter. The game's highlight is getting your Skell, a giant mech suit that completely changes exploration and combat by letting you fly across the massive open world. Mira is genuinely huge, with 5 distinct continents, each filled with dangerous creatures, hidden treasures, and stunning vistas. Side missions flesh out your Blade teammates in the city's various factions, with many missions having branching choices.
Upper hand! Shadow strike!
Tunic is an isometric action-adventure game that channels classic Zelda vibes while adding its own mysterious twist. You play as a small fox exploring a ruined world filled with ancient technology and dangerous creatures, slowly uncovering what happened to this forgotten land. The game hands you an in-game instruction manual that's partially written in an indecipherable language, and discovering new pages reveals mechanics, map details, and secrets. Combat requires careful timing, with dodging, blocking, and stamina management. Button mashing gets you killed quickly. You'll find new items and abilities that open up previously inaccessible areas, encouraging backtracking with fresh perspectives. Boss battles demand pattern recognition and strategic use of your limited resources. The world design is incredibly intricate, with shortcuts connecting areas in satisfying ways once you unlock them. Secrets are everywhere. Hidden paths, cryptic puzzles, and alternate solutions that reward observant players. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 follows Rex, a salvager who accidentally bonds with a legendary blade named Pyra, and agrees to take her to Elysium, a paradise at the top of the world tree. The entire game takes place on massive creatures called Titans that serve as continents floating in a cloud sea. The combat system has you controlling a driver who fights alongside their blade partner, chaining together auto attacks to charge up arts, then using arts to charge specials for devastating finishing moves. You can bond with multiple blades throughout the game, each offering different weapon types, elements, and field skills needed for exploration. The combo system layers driver combos that inflict status effects with blade combos that exploit elemental weaknesses, culminating in massive chain attacks. Each Titan has its own distinct climate, culture, and ecosystem, making exploration feel fresh. The story deals with themes of purpose, sacrifice, and what makes us human, through well-developed characters and emotional story beats. Side quests involve helping various non-player characters and unlocking your blade's personal stories through affinity missions.
Anchor shot! Ha! Why not? Yeah!
Luigi's Mansion 3 has Luigi and friends invited to a luxury hotel that turns out to be a trap set by King Boo, who captures everyone except Luigi. You explore the Last Resort Hotel floor by floor, each themed differently, like a museum, movie studio, or pirate ship, hunting ghosts with your upgraded Poltergust G00 vacuum. The slam mechanic lets you grab ghosts and smash them into the ground repeatedly for damage, making captures more active than previous games. Gooigi, your gooey clone, can squeeze through grates and walk on spikes, creating co-op puzzles even in single player, where you switch between Luigi and Gooigi. Environmental puzzles require vacuuming, blowing air, and using your strobulb flash to interact with objects. Almost everything can be manipulated. Boss ghosts guard each floor, requiring you to figure out their patterns and vulnerabilities. The animation is incredibly detailed, with Luigi's expressions and reactions bringing personality to every moment. Collecting gems and boos hidden throughout floors adds replay value. The suction shot lets you launch plungers at objects to rip them away or create platforms.
Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key, concludes Ryza's trilogy, as mysterious islands appear near her home, and ancient ruins suggest a connection to a forgotten civilization. The core gameplay revolves around alchemy, gathering materials through exploration and combat, then synthesizing them into useful items, equipment, and consumables. The synthesis system uses a node-based grid, where placing materials unlocks adjacent nodes with bonuses and new item properties, letting you craft the same item in different ways. Combat is real-time, with an action order timeline showing when characters and enemies act, and you build up tactics points through normal attacks to unleash powerful skills. Keys are a new mechanic that let you modify synthesis outcomes, create shortcuts in the world, and even pause enemy attacks temporarily. You can ride a puny creature across land and water for faster exploration. The game has the largest maps in the series, with regions that change based on story progression. Party members have individual character arcs that develop through side quests and combat banter. Pikmin 4 has you playing as a customizable rescue officer, searching for Captain Olimar and other castaways who crashed on a mysterious planet.
populated by tiny creatures and giant wildlife. You command squads of Pikmin, plant-like creatures with different abilities, like red Pikmin who resist fire, blue Pikmin who can breathe underwater, and new ice Pikmin who freeze enemies and water. The core gameplay involves throwing Pikmin at obstacles, enemies, and treasures, then directing them to carry items back to your base before nightfall. Ochi, your space dog companion, can carry Pikmin, break down walls, and even fight enemies, fundamentally changing how you approach challenges. Dandori battles introduce competitive elements, where you race against opponents to collect more objects within a time limit. Night expeditions flip the formula. Instead of exploring, you defend a base against waves of enemies using strategic glow Pikmin spawns. The game balances time management with relaxed exploration better than previous entries, letting you restart days without major penalties.
Metroid Dread continues Samus's story after fusion, as she investigates footage suggesting the X-parasites still exist on planet ZDR, only to be ambushed by a rogue Chozo warrior who strips her of her abilities. You explore interconnected environments, gaining new powers that open up previously inaccessible areas in classic Metroidvania style. The EMMI zones introduce stealth horror sections, where nearly invincible robots hunt you relentlessly, forcing you to sneak, run, and use the environment to escape. Samus's movement is incredibly fluid, with new abilities like sliding under gaps and wall jumping between surfaces while maintaining momentum. The counter mechanic from Samus Returns returns, but refined. Timing a melee counter as enemies attack staggers them for a powerful follow-up shot. Boss battles are intense tests of pattern recognition and reflexes, with some fights ranking among the hardest in the series. Abilities like the Phantom Cloak let you turn invisible to slip past EMMI detection temporarily. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time is a life simulation RPG where you choose from multiple life classes, like Paladin, Wizard, Cook, or Blacksmith, each with unique abilities and storylines. The world is threatened by a time distortion phenomenon, and you must investigate the mystery while living your daily life in this fantasy world. Combat classes fight in real-time action with combos and special skills, while crafting classes gather materials and create items through mini-games. You can switch between lives freely, and leveling up multiple lives unlocks cross-class benefits and new story content. The story involves a mysterious girl connected to the time distortions, and an ancient power that could destroy reality. Exploration rewards curiosity, with hidden areas, rare materials, and side quests from NPCs with their own problems. The crafting system has you timing button presses and making quality choices to create better items. Your character's house can be customized with furniture and decorations earned through gameplay. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom picks up after Breath of the Wild, as Link and Zelda discover an ancient evil sealed beneath Hyrule Castle, accidentally releasing Ganondorf and causing catastrophic changes to the world. Hyrule now has 3 layers: floating sky islands above, the familiar surface transformed by upheaval, and a massive underground depths area filled with darkness and dangers. The Ultra Hand ability lets you grab and connect objects together to build vehicles, bridges, and contraptions limited only by your creativity. Fuse lets you attach materials to weapons and shields,
dramatically changing their properties and solving the durability issue from the previous game. Ascend allows Link to phase through ceilings, completely changing how you navigate caves and buildings. Recall reverses an object's movement through time, creating puzzle solutions and combat strategies. The expanded world is filled with new shrines, caves, wells, and environmental puzzles that take advantage of these abilities. Super Mario Odyssey sends Mario on a globe-trotting adventure to stop Bowser from forcibly marrying Princess Peach, traveling across diverse kingdoms in the Odyssey airship. The game introduces Cappy, a sentient hat who teams up with Mario after Bowser kidnaps his sister. And this partnership creates the capture mechanic that defines the entire experience. By throwing Cappy at enemies and objects, Mario can possess them and use their unique abilities. Become a T-Rex to smash through obstacles, a Bullet Bill to fly across gaps, or even a tank to blast through walls. Each of the game's kingdoms feels completely different, from the realistic streets of New Donk City to the food-themed Luncheon Kingdom with its volcanic stew. Power Moons are scattered everywhere as collectibles, with over 800 total to find through platforming challenges, puzzles, and hidden secrets. Mario's movement is incredibly fluid, with tons of advanced techniques, like dive jumps and hat bounces, that let skilled players sequence break and find creative shortcuts. The post-game content significantly expands, with harder moons and new challenges. Astral Chain is a Platinum Games action title set in a futuristic megacity called the Ark, where humanity fights extra-dimensional beings called chimeras, using captured creatures called legions. You play as a rookie officer in Neuron, a special police task force, investigating corruption spreading through the city, while managing the connection between yourself and your legion. The combat system has you controlling both your character and your tethered legion simultaneously, creating unique strategies like wrapping the chain around enemies to bind them, or positioning your legion for combination attacks. You unlock 5 different legion types throughout the game: sword, arrow, arm, beast, and axe, each with distinct abilities and combat styles. Between action sequences, you investigate crime scenes by scanning for evidence, questioning witnesses, and solving puzzles using legion abilities. The game blends character action combat with light detective work and occasional stealth sections. Your legion can be customized with different skills and abilities as you progress.
Let's get him!
Persona 5 Royal has you playing as a transfer student, falsely accused of assault, who, along with friends, discovers the ability to enter the metaverse, a cognitive world where distorted desires manifest as palaces. Your group becomes the Phantom Thieves, infiltrating the palaces of corrupt adults to steal their distorted hearts and force them to confess their crimes. The gameplay splits between dungeon crawling in palaces and living your daily life as a high school student in Tokyo. During the day, you attend classes, build relationships with confidants, work part-time jobs, and improve your social stats like knowledge and charm. Combat is turn-based, with a focus on exploiting enemy weaknesses to knock them down, then triggering all-out attacks when all enemies are down. The protagonist can wield multiple personas, manifestations of your inner self, and you fuse them together to create stronger ones with better abilities. Each party member has their own persona and personal story arc that develops through confidant ranks. Time management is crucial, since every activity takes up time slots, forcing you to prioritize. Kirby and the Forgotten Land marks the Pink Puffball's first full 3D platformer adventure, as he explores a post-apocalyptic world overgrown with nature, where Waddle Dees have been kidnapped by the Beast Pack. Kirby retains his signature copy-ability system, but now in 3D environments, inhaling enemies to gain their powers like sword, fire, ice, and drill. The new Mouthful mode lets Kirby stretch his body around large objects like cars, vending machines, and traffic cones to solve puzzles and access new areas. Each copy ability can be upgraded twice by finding blueprint pieces and collecting coins, transforming basic powers into devastating evolved forms. The level design encourages exploration, with Waddle Dees hidden throughout stages, and rescuing them expands Waddle Dee Town with new shops and minigames. Boss battles are genuinely exciting, with multiple phases and patterns to learn. Treasure Road challenges test your mastery of specific copy abilities with time trials. Hollow Knight Silksong on Nintendo Switch is a masterclass in Metroidvania design, offering a single-player experience that balances precision combat, exploration, and subtle storytelling. You step into the role of Hornet, navigating a mysterious kingdom filled with vertical and horizontal challenges, from shadowed caverns to sprawling citadels. The gameplay rewards skill and observation. Every dash, jump, and attack must be timed carefully, while enemy patterns encourage experimentation with combos and abilities. As you progress, new tools and movement options expand the world, allowing access to hidden areas and secrets, making exploration feel both rewarding and organic. The story unfolds gradually through environmental cues, character encounters, and lore scattered throughout the realm, inviting players to piece together the world's mysteries without heavy-handed exposition. Silksong excels at creating tension and flow, with each area presenting its own rhythm of combat, platforming, and discovery. Its art style and soundtrack amplify the atmosphere, making the kingdom feel alive and reactive.
Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 on Nintendo Switch remain two of the most inventive single-player platformers in the Mario franchise, offering a cosmic adventure that blends precise platforming with imaginative level design. In these games, Mario traverses a universe of small, rotating planets, each with unique gravity, perspective shifts, and environmental challenges. The first title introduces the Comet Observatory as a hub, and features Mario's quest to recover Power Stars while meeting the mysterious Rosalina. The sequel builds on this foundation, adding new mechanics such as Yoshi companions, inventive power-ups, and more complex planetary layouts that demand both skill and timing. Exploration is richly rewarded, with hidden collectibles and creative use of transformations like Bee Mario or Cloud Mario. Combat and navigation feel intuitive but layered, giving the player room to experiment with movement, jumps, and the environment itself. The visuals are vibrant, the soundtrack dynamic, and the pacing balances challenge with playful discovery.
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild begins with Link awakening after a 100-year sleep to find Hyrule in ruins, and Princess Zelda barely holding Calamity Ganon at bay inside Hyrule Castle. You explore a massive open world with complete freedom from the start. You can head straight to fight Ganon or spend dozens of hours exploring, solving shrines, and liberating divine beasts. The physics-based chemistry engine creates emergent gameplay, where fire spreads naturally, metal conducts electricity, and objects react realistically to forces. You can climb almost any surface if you have enough stamina, making vertical exploration just as important as horizontal. The Sheikah Slate provides runes like Remote Bombs, Magnesis for moving metal objects, Stasis to freeze objects in time, and Cryonis to create ice pillars from water. Weapon durability forces you to constantly adapt and experiment, rather than relying on one weapon type. Cooking combines ingredients to create meals that restore health or provide temporary buffs, like cold resistance or extra stamina.
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is a complete remake of the GameCube classic, featuring updated graphics while maintaining the original's charm and gameplay. Mario travels to Rogueport, a seedy port town, searching for Princess Peach and the legendary treasure behind the Thousand-Year Door, while collecting crystal stars. The turn-based combat uses timed button presses for both attacking and defending. Hitting A at the right moment increases damage or reduces incoming damage. Mario gains partners throughout the adventure, like Goombella, Koops, and Vivian, each with unique abilities used both in combat and for solving environmental puzzles. The paper aesthetic is fully utilized, with Mario folding into a paper airplane, rolling into a tube, or turning sideways to slip through cracks. Badge customization lets you equip abilities that change combat options, boost stats, or add helpful effects at the cost of limited badge points. The story is surprisingly engaging, with mystery elements, character betrayals, and humor that lands consistently.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is set in Ionios, where two nations, Keves and Agnos, are locked in eternal war, with soldiers having 10-year lifespans. 6 soldiers from opposing sides, Noah, Mio, Uni, Tyon, Lance, and Senna, have their lives intertwined and discover their world's dark truth, while trying to reach the mysterious Sword of the Origin. The combat system is real-time, with auto-attacks charging your arts, abilities with cooldowns that deal damage, heal, buff allies, or inflict debuffs. Characters can switch between multiple classes, learn from heroes you recruit, mixing and matching weapon types and role abilities. The interlink system lets pairs of characters fuse into powerful Ouroboros forms with devastating abilities and unique movesets. Chain attacks return with a new order-based system, where extending the chain by meeting conditions lets you deal massive damage. The world is massive, with stunning environments ranging from mechanical wastelands to lush forests and crystalline deserts. The story tackles heavy themes about mortality, purpose, and breaking cycles of violence, with genuinely emotional character moments.
Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake on Nintendo Switch is a remarkable revitalization of two classic JRPGs, combining the charm of pixel art with modern HD 2D visuals that make the worlds feel vibrant and alive. The first chapter casts you as a lone hero, exploring a kingdom threatened by darkness, while the second expands the adventure to a party of heroes, each with their own strengths and growth opportunities. Combat remains turn-based, but benefits from refined mechanics, offering a balance of strategy and accessibility that rewards careful planning and experimentation with skills, magic, and items. Exploration is engaging, with hidden dungeons, secret treasures, and side quests that encourage curiosity without ever feeling mandatory. The narrative unfolds gradually, through encounters, town dialogue, and environmental storytelling, deepening the world and its characters without relying on heavy exposition. Combined with a charming soundtrack and thoughtful pacing, this remake offers both newcomers and longtime fans a single-player experience that honors the originals while feeling fresh, rewarding,
and richly immersive.
There's lots of variety and flexibility. Mini-medals appear in many Dragon Quest games, but for the first time, you can also find them in Dragon Quest 1 and 2. They are hidden all over the land and can be exchanged for rewards such.
And there you have it, the top 40 best single-player games on Nintendo Switch in 2025. From tactical masterpieces to action-packed adventures and epic RPGs, these games offer incredible experiences you can enjoy at your own pace. What's your favorite single-player game on Switch? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching!